Guys, I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. I welcome you to all of my videos. I'm so grateful that you guys are listening and watching and subscribing to my channel. It gives me a lot of pleasure to see that you guys are enjoying them, but more than that, you're actually learning from them and you're growing to become the best version of yourself as much as possible. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about forgiveness and how I've been making forgiveness a major theme of this year. As soon as I turned 35, I started making forgiveness a big part of my life because I started noticing as I become more empathic and more connected to myself that I have a lot of anger that I'm holding on to because of things that have happened a long time ago with my parents, with my siblings perhaps, with people in my life, friends, relatives, things like that. And so I've been holding on to that and I've been feeling that anger. And the way I actually recognized it is because I dream journal. So basically I get up every morning and I write down my dreams and I analyzed them, and I realized a lot of my dreams had a lot of anger in it. So it would be me displaying anger, yelling at people, or someone else displaying anger, yelling at me. And it was just a lot of yelling and anger and argument and back and forth, right? There's a lot of joy as well and a lot of happiness and, a lot of love, but there's also a lot of anger. And if I wanted to ignore that, I could have. It was very easy because I'm like, I'm happy, everything's fine, la 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 la. And we're very good at ignoring things, you know that about ourselves. But I decided I'm not going to do that anymore because it was a sign. It was a signal from the universe, from my subconscious, from my intuition telling me that there's something that I had to deal with, that I was not dealing with. And if I wasn't going to deal with it even now at 35 when I'm an oldie, then when the hell am I going to deal with it? And when I'm 65 or 75, that would be too late. Right? Because all the people that I feel angry with or that I'm holding on this anger for perhaps will all be dead by that point. What's the point of dealing with it when they're all dead? It's too late. So I decided I'm going to deal with it right now. And in this year, this was the year to do it. Why? I don't know. I just had the energy for it, or I had the inclination for it. It was the right time, I felt. And so I started making lists and notes of things that I felt angry about from my past. And one of the main things that came up over and over again, as an INFJ, you might know this or you might relate to this, was anger towards my parents because of the fact that I felt like I had to be a parent when I was a child, right? When I was younger, because I was always mediating between them and doing all the stuff that I did. I've talked about this several times before. I felt like I never really had a chance to be a child. I never had a chance to play or do all those things because I always felt like I had to be the adult. I had to always be on alert. I had to make sure that they weren't fighting. I had to make sure my siblings were protected. I had to make sure everything was fine. Everyone's eating, everyone's happy, everyone's talking. And all of that caused me to feel so much anxiety, and also I had to always be in control. And that meant that instead of playing, I was spending all of my time either resting or being alone or being alert and making sure that they were fine, right? My family was fine. And so because of that, it was something that I accepted. I was like, okay, cool. But I felt like that was the case then. I didn't get to be a child then. And now, my parents are regressing back again. As it happens, when parents get older, you'll notice that as well, if you guys are young right now, that they become children again. It's really interesting because I'm going back into adult mode again. I have to take care of them again. I have to make sure that they're fine, that they're eating, that they're not fighting and all that. And it's exhausting. And not only that, it makes me angry. It makes me angry that I don't have a chance to be a child even now. Even when they're in their 60s, I don't have a chance to be a child now. They're a child. Even though I'm 35, I know I'm not a child anymore. But so there was some anger related to that, and also the fact, that they fought a lot and all that stuff. So because of the anger that I was feeling, I was thinking to myself, okay, I need to deal with forgiveness. I need to start a forgiveness meditation, or I need to start thinking about forgiveness, or at least talking about it, right? That's one of the reasons I've done a video just recently about the fact that I've actually gone back to a bunch of people that I door slammed and told them I'm sorry for what I did and blah, blah, blah. And it was really important for me to start off with that because that was a very easy sorry to say. It was a very easy forgiveness to do because I didn't care that much about that. Not that I didn't care about the people, but it was a very easy thing for me to say sorry about because I knew that I'd done something that was a little bit mean. Door slams are very mean. Not that I'm saying we don't do them anymore, but I'm just saying that they can be very jarring to the person on the other end. because we're really, really nice to them, and all of a sudden we're not. And they're like, what happened? And so I've been, saying sorry to those people, and just saying that sorry, telling them I'm sorry, I apologize for what I miscommunicated, or I didn't communicate my needs to you properly, I apologize. Just doing that released so much anger just within me. And it was really interesting because I didn't realize it was all interconnected, right? So I released that, I let go of that, and the dreams that I was having about anger kind of dissipated a little bit, right? They kind of went away a little bit for a few weeks. I haven't had them in a while now, actually. I can't remember the last time I've had a dream where I yelled at a parent. But I know that it'll come back again because I haven't dealt with all of the stuff that I need to forgive my parents for. The reason I'm doing this video is not so that I can tell you guys how awesome I am for forgiving people, but to tell you guys that I think it's important for us as INFJs to forgive our parents for being poor parents. Not only because they did the best they could, they really, really did the best they could. They didn't do anything because they wanted to hurt us deliberately or intentionally. They were young as well, they're young, they're learning. No one is given a manual on being a parent. They don't know how to be a parent. My parents were really young. My mom was really young when she got married. She was 16, because that's how it is in India. And so she was a baby herself. She had no idea what she was doing. And the fact that she raised me really well and I'm healthy and happy right now, it's a big credence to, it's a big, accomplishment on her part, considering she was such a baby when she started raising me. She was 21 when she had me. And the same thing with my father. My father was really young and he was doing the best he can. They were really poor as well. And so again, they were doing the best they can. And so really, I want us to start thinking about forgiveness as one of those tools that can help heal ourselves, because it's really important that we start doing that. It's really easy to hold on to the anger and the hatred and the resentment and the bitterness and all that stuff. It's really easy to hold on to it and say, feel really righteous about it. Oh, I'm holding on to it because they were bad and I'm good and all that stuff. It's really easy to do that, right? The harder thing, obviously, is to forgive them. Not only because they did their level best, they did their best with us as much as possible, but also because we are not perfect and they're not perfect. We're all imperfect beings doing the best we can. And we have to learn. It would be nice if we could learn to forgive them for the past. Because if we don't forgive them for the past, we can't move on to the future. If we don't forgive them for the past, then we're going to hold on to that for the rest of our life. And it's going to interrupt everything that we do. I'm holding on to that anger, and every single time something triggers me in someone else, even if it's not their fault, I'll start yelling at them because that anger is inside of me. And because that trigger is always there underneath the surface, waiting, right? I don't want to be that person who yells at a poor bystander because of some anger that I feel with my parents from 30 years ago. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's the most unawakened, the most asleep thing for us to do, right? And we're not those kind of beings. We're not those kind of people. We're not. We don't like that. We want to be awakened. We want to do the right thing. And the right thing to do is to forgive, to let go of that past, not for them. Forgiveness is for us. We're not doing it for them. They don't feel anything when you forgive them. They don't feel anything. You're not telling them, you're not going up to them specifically saying, I forgive you. You're doing it as an internal process. You're telling yourself that I forgive that person, and you're letting go of that shit that's holding you back so that you can move forward. You can move ahead. You can move on to the next phase of your life, right? So forgiveness is not about that other person. It's about us. It's about letting go of all that bitterness and the negativity and the blackness, that black hole that's inside of us, to let go of all of that so you can move forward and move onward and upward. So my recommendation as much as possible for you guys, especially if you are younger, because it's easier to do it when you're younger, is to forgive as much as possible. Because the anger or the hurt that you hold on to, it's not hurting anyone else. It's hurting you the most. You're the one who's going to be holding on to it and dealing with it for the rest of your life. No one else is going to know that you're doing it. No one else is going to care if you're doing it either, right? All of that hurt and anger is inside of you. And it's holding you back. It's holding you prisoner. And so I really do recommend that you guys start a process of forgiveness. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. And especially with our parents, because they do deserve it. They did the best they could. And perhaps their best wasn't that great, but still they did the best they could, right? Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. It's really, really important that we start doing this as soon as possible. I found it to be so useful for my own journey, and I know that you're going to find it very useful for your journey as well. If you guys have any questions at all about forgiveness or about the practice of forgiveness or meditation, it's called compassion meditation as well, or loving kindness meditation. You can Google that. If you have any questions, message me anytime. Either you can message me here in the comments below, or you can message me privately. All my contact information is in the description below. Again, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and for subscribing, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.